How do you go about reclassifying your share capital? Hi, I'm Kimberly Chapcroft, qualified chartered accountant, property investor and entrepreneur. Let's sit down and have a chat. Share reclassifications. Now, there are many reasons why you may wish to reclassify your shares, from bringing in additional shareholders with different rights to having different dividends between different shareholders. You may want to offer employees shares. You may be restructuring your business. You may be doing some tax planning and want to put things into a specific way to make it work. Now, this video possibly will form part of a series of videos you need to watch if you are doing some sort of tax planning. But again, this may be something that you're just looking at doing as a one-off exercise to make things work for you and your family, or your business and your business partners. So we're going to dive into what the steps are that you need to take for a share reclassification. And obviously, if you need any support or help with that, ensure you speak to your accountant who will be able to support you through this process. So what's step one? Well, step one in any of this process is always about checking your articles of association to see what they say you can and you cannot do. In many articles, if they're older articles, it will give you a time restriction on when you can and you cannot issue or make changes to your shares, and for newer companies it may be a lot more freer in what you can do. Either way, you're possibly likely to need to do some sort of general resolution or special resolution to just confirm that you are looking at doing this and have resolved to do it. Now, this may always seem a little bit of a funny one, especially when there's only maybe one shareholder to start with. You need to have a meeting with yourself. So sit in front of that mirror and have that conversation, and then that needs to be documented to get that resolution in place to enable you to make that change. Generally, these resolutions need 75% of the shareholders' approval, which, depending how many shareholders there are, may need one or two of you, depending how many shareholders you have in the company, and they do need to be in writing. A copy of that resolution is likely needed to be filed with Companies House. So this will need to be documented, signed, and then submitted to Companies House. The resolution will just alter and confirm exactly what you are doing. So it's whether you're changing to AB shares, whether you're changing to some voting and non-voting shares, whether you're looking at doing different things with winding up, whether you're doing anything with dividend rights. It's all of these different things which you will need to document on that resolution for what changes you are making with that reclassification. The bigger journey here is probably going to be getting to the point of knowing what change you are going to make, as this is the area that will need some planning of what are you trying to actually achieve by doing this share reclassification to ensure that what you are documenting is showing exactly what you want to achieve. Are you looking at getting A, B, C, D shares at the end of the day with the same voting rights, same rights to dividends, same rights for winding up? Or are you looking at introducing some B shares, which are non-voting shares, but have right to dividend and right to winding up? There are many, many options, and this is where you just need to have determined exactly what you're trying to achieve, and then that can be documented. When it's all documented, the resolution's been completed, it's been submitted to Companies House, the rest is more of a formality. And the second part of the formality is completing an SH08, which is a Companies House form for share redesignations, and that's an SH08. This is a relatively straightforward form that can be downloaded from Companies House, and then you complete it and submit it to Companies House for filing. You can file that by paper or by electronic methods, and the paper will depend on whether you've got the proof scheme in place stopping the paper filings. This needs to be done within 1 month of the redesignation, so this is something you put on one side and do later. You need to do this as part of the process so it all gets done and sorted. When this is done, you can update your register of members and your register of persons of significant control, as this may have affected these different registers to show who is a person of significant control and who are the members if you are bringing additional people into the shareholding positions. If these have changed, you may need to do some forms for Companies House to just update who a person of significant control is and ensure all their details are correct and up to date with Companies House. The final step in this process is then to issue the share certificates to the new shareholders or the existing shareholders who have the redesignated shares. And this then will bring everything into full circle to get all of the new share certificates in place with each of those new shareholders, which will have been defined in that resolution to show exactly who has what shares. As you'll be able to see there, it's a little bit of a paperwork exercise. The bigger problem with this sort of redesignation is determining what you're trying to do and then making sure that those designations are correctly done for that resolution to show exactly what you are trying to achieve. When you've determined what you have and what you want, that is relatively straightforward to then document and then follow through with the appropriate paperwork to update Companies House and to update the members and the share certificates with all the appropriate paperwork. Obviously, this is something your accountant can assist with and is probably the best person to have a conversation with to ensure that you've considered the tax implications of having those changes, as well as the corporate structure format of how it all fits together to ensure that you are putting everything in place for now and for the future of your business.
Hopefully today you've discovered how you go about reclassifying your share capital and why you would go about doing this. If you have any questions, then please do leave a comment. Please do like the video and please subscribe to the channel. And let's make tax less taxing.